I'm joined in the studio this morning by Mutala Inusa, who is our court correspondent. We call him Captain. Good morning, Captain. How are you?
Good morning, Serwaa. I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
How's the Thursday looking like?
Well, we can't complain.
The weather has also been a little bit moisturous.
I love the weather, except that I love it only when I'm in bed. You know, it's such a good feeling. But here we are.
You never hear it rain, but you wake up, you come out, and you notice that the whole place is.
No, you know, when you in the middle of your sleep, you wake up and you realize that it's raining. Oh, it's even the thought of it alone. I love rain, but I don't like the havoc that it causes. Yes. You know, so sometimes even in trying to sleep, when you go on YouTube, there's some rain sounds that you can use because it's very calming. Anyway, the thought of it alone is making me sleepy. Let's move on. So coming up, let's start from what happened in court yesterday. Let's begin from Kandapaa versus Oliver Barker.
Yesterday, the subject matter of some 17 questions came up at the Supreme Court. In fact, 5-member panel of the Supreme Court presided over by the Chief Justice, and the other members of the panel include Justice Mariama Owusu, Justice Samuel Esiedu, Justice Yaodahu Asare, and Justice Ejay Frimpong. And then the argument from lawyers of Oliver Barker was simple. We are asking the National Security Minister to respond to some 17 questions of facts, and I mean to disclose certain documents to ensure that that defamation case at the High Court will be clearer to the courts. Now, lawyers of Oliver Barker are opposed to that, but effectively the panel was of the considered view that, look, there's no specification of the document that they are asking Kandapaa to produce. And so the Supreme Court wouldn't know what to ask Honorable Kandapaa to produce. Then again, it begs the question. You notice that when the 17 questions were filed at the High Court, Aban Kandapaa said that based on security and national confidentiality matters, he's unable to respond to that. So if he is unable to respond to that, then on what basis is there a claim that there are no specifications to the questions that were being asked? Those are the questions that will linger in the minds of people. But in fact, the lawyers indicated that with time, they'll be able to specify then for the Supreme Court to make that determination. But the Apex Court looked at it and said they are dismissing it. Lawyers of Oliver Barker wanted a cost of 50,000 Ghana cedis. But the Supreme Court said, no, you can't come here and be asking the cost in matters of this. So that request was turned down. So in effect, that particular request, they have to come back to the High Court to follow the substantive matter in the court. But of course, in the coming days, we'll know the next line of action that Oliver Barker and his lawyers led by Dr. Justice Remsai will take in relation to this very matter. So yesterday at the Supreme Court, the panel of 5 says that the lawyers of Oliver Barker, the request, they didn't put specifics to that particular 17 questions or document that he's seeking. So that request was refused.
Okay, let's move on. Cecilia Dapa's mates.
Yes.
What happened yesterday?
From one Dapa to another Dapa. So
no, are they related?
No.
Okay.
But I'm even yet to know that for a fact. But
right.
As far as I know for now,
yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know
any
that for
relationship.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yesterday they were supposed to be in court, and out of the 7, only one person, that is Sarah Ejay, was present. You notice that the remaining 6 are in prison's custody. Apart from Sarah Ejay, who is breastfeeding, and because of that, the court has remanded her into police custody. All of them are on bail, but they haven't been able to meet their bail conditions. So for that matter, they need to be in lawful custody. And so yesterday, when the case was supposed to come on, lawyers of Patience Botwe were supposed to move a motion asking the OSP to furnish them with some document and some processes. Yesterday, Justice Marie Louise Simmons is on a training course section, so the case didn't come on. It has been adjourned to the 17th of July. So on the 17th of July, that case, it is expected to come on today for further cross-examination if yesterday's sitting had happened. But because of the training session involving the judge, they have to adjourn this case to the 17th. So yesterday, in relation to this very case, there was no show.
There was no show. Okay. Yesterday as well, during the news, I read about the adjournment of the Kwesi Nyantakyi versus Anasta's case that had been adjourned for some 3 months because the legal year ends 31st July. Right.
Yes. So virtually, if your case within this period, any case that will come out, the chances are that you are likely to go in the new legal year, because just like you mentioned, today's date is 11, and in the next 20 days, because July is 31, so in the next 20 days, the judiciary, in fact the superior courts, all will be going on vacation. But of course, there will be some vacation courts that will be sitting. And so this very case involving lawyer Kwesi Nyantakyi and then Abdullahi Al-Hassan, former Northern Regional Representative of the Ghana Football Association, regarding Anas number 12. So there's a charge. The court is waiting for a court of appeal decision on an appeal filed by the states, because the court has ordered Anas to unmask to Nyantakyi, which they disagree. So yesterday, the parties were expected to apprise the court or update the court on what is the situation at the court of appeal. The court said, I'll wait for the court of appeal. So they want an outcome. Then the court did it. Justice Marie Louise Simon earlier had indicated that by April, if there was no progress in the case, she was going to discharge Nyantakyi and the other accused person. But at one point in time, there were challenges transferring the appeal processes to the court of appeal. So the court is saying that if that is the situation, it will not be fair for the court to discharge the accused person. So then let's wait now that the processes are set. And my indication, what I have been able to gather is that yes, now the lawyers of lawyer Kwesi Nyantakyi have been served with the appeal processes. What is left now is for the court of appeal to issue a hearing notice for them to come and then address them or file their processes in order. So on that score, that very case involving Nyantakyi has been adjourned to the 16th of October. Okay. And that was when they are back from the 2-month legal vacation between August and September. So this case, for the next time that it will be back in court, we have to wait to the new legal year, which begins in October this year.
Okay, yes. So these are the things, the major things that happened in court yesterday. Let's focus on today. What's coming up? Nanapia Mensah. Yes. Yesterday, you said that there was supposed to be a decision. The judge was supposed to make a decision on whether there was a submission of no case to answer, right? So
yesterday, like you mentioned, Justice Ernest Owusu-Dapaah was expected to deliver his ruling on the submission of no case as to whether or not there is a question for NAM1 to answer in relation to the witnesses that have been called by the prosecution, 9 of them. So the court will evaluate, look at their testimony on the face of it. The court is not going to examine that in institute, but on the face of it. If there are certain things that tickles the mind of the court out, the court will want some answers from that. If the court finds that to be the situation, then NAM1 will be called upon to answer. But yesterday, we were told that Justice Ernest Owusu-Dapaah is involved, and I know he's a justice of the Court of Appeal. So he's presiding over this case as an additional High Court judge, was involved in the panel session at the Court of Appeal. So this case was rescheduled to today. So today, we expect NAM1 to know his fate as to whether he will go home free or the court will ask him to open his defense. So it's just like the football match that took place between England and the Netherlands yesterday. So
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No,
then you missed.
I didn't watch
one
it.
country was going to progress and the other was going to. So today, we'll know that NAM1 will come home free, and then the men's girls customers will also have that. So that is what we do expect, one of the cases that we do expect.
Right, and you know, Murtala, just to provide a little context to that, I think that we need to explain what a submission of no case or what the ruling is, depending on what the outcome is going to be. So usually in criminal trials, you know, the prosecution bears the duty to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the accused person committed the crime, right? And it's mostly is the case, and this is a very clear example of one.
Absolutely.
And then after the prosecution is done proving its case, the court will have to determine whether they have led enough or sufficient evidence for the accused person to answer. And that is what the judge is expected to rule on. If the judge determines that the prosecution has not led sufficient evidence for the accused person to answer to, then they will discharge and acquit the accused person. If not, the accused person is invited to open his defense, and after all of that, the courts will then determine whether the accused person is guilty or not, right?
Yes.
Okay,
so today is not for the court to determine whether number. So
precisely.
Many people are of the view that once you are being called upon to open your defense, it means you're guilty.
Automatically guilty. That's not what it is. Yes.
Because the court now wants to have a balanced testimony to be able to weigh who is right and who is wrong.
Right.
Yes.
So that's it. Also coming up today is the ambulance case, the famous, the most popular witness
and the man
ever.
on your screen. Yes.
Richard Jakpa.
Richard Jakpa. It's all over. In fact, the beginning of this case, it was one person that was barely known. All the big name that you can mention is Dr. Kasila Tufosin and Dr. Sylvester Ademana. Then, just when he was in the witness box testifying, then boom, it was all over and he became the star man. So today, Mr. Richard Jakpa, noticed that the Attorney General had 4 clear days to subject him to cross-examination, and in the last court sitting, that cross-examination came to an end. And you heard Mr. Jakpa, anytime the case comes up, he will give you interview, he will tell you his mind and all that. And it's been very interesting. So now he has been discharged from the witness box, meaning that he no longer will speak again. But he said he has 8 witnesses to call. And today, he's calling the very first of his 8 witnesses. And guess who that person is? The chief executive of Big C General Tradings, Samed Sadasi. He is the one that we expect in court today as the first defense witness for Mr. Businessman Richard Jakpa. The witness, we were being told at the last court sitting that will not be in court presently. So he rather would join via video link.
Okay.
And so that is what we do expect today. But what is clear is that Mr. Richard Jakpa is now calling witnesses, and the first of the 8 will be in court today, who happen to be the representative of Big C General Trading, the company of which he was the local agent here that led to the purchase of the ambulances in question.
Okay. And then finally, the side chick case. It's just sad to call it the side chick case, but yeah, that's what it's known for. Yeah. What's expected to happen today?
She has won a lantern not to call her side chick. So
she has won lantern not to call her.
That's the lantern's favorite case in court. So yeah, so I told you last Monday that this case was coming on. It didn't happen on Monday, but today it is happening. And lawyers of NS Kwesini Makun are expected to subject the investigator who was subpoenaed to come to court to testify by lawyers of Deborah Serwaa Madabla, who will have their turn to cross-examine him before justice.
Who are her lawyers?
Yes.
Who are her lawyers?
Mohammed is the one leading her to fight her case.
Okay.
And so the lawyers of NS Kwesini Makun will be in court today, and then that will be done before Justice John Bosco Nabarese. So this case is being fixed for 1 p.m. So at 1 p.m. they'll be back in court and then come and conduct the business of the day. They will know what the direction of the court will be. So these are the cases that we do expect today happening.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Serwaa.
Mutala Inusa is our court correspondent, and that will be it for our conversations in court today. You're welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere, and it's time for the breakfast review. I'm joined in the studio by Bernard Mona. He's flag bearer aspirant for the PNC. Bernard, good morning, and also a convener for Rise Ghana Movement. So Bernard, I'll come back to you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
My heart is settled, and Chinia understands.
Alhaji Amidu Chinia is Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources and also Member of Parliament for the Sisala East constituency. Good morning.
Good morning. And Bernard Mona's younger brother. And in our tradition, if he marries and he dies, the younger brother can take over.
I don't know what is going on, but Malik Basintele is Deputy National Communications Officer of the NDC. Malik, good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa.
Okay.
So Bernard, I will be dying at an age that he will be too old to marry my...
Flag bearer aspirant. So it's 149 days to election 2024. You haven't held your internal elections to select a flag bearer and you want to go into the election.
And become the next president of the Republic of Ghana.
Forgive me for laughing, but...
No, you are entitled.
But Bernard,
No,
please.
you are entitled. See.
Are you serious about this?
I don't know where you are coming from with this.
It's 149 days.
So,
you don't even have a flag bearer for
there
your
was
party.
somebody.
They don't even have timetable.
No,
yet.
there was somebody who was incarcerated.
Right.
And was unaware that he would be released. When they released, they disqualified him. He anointed his deputy, who was also actually in incarceration with him, to stand in his stead. They won elections in 10 days in Senegal. When change is coming, it gets ready before you even emerge.
Right.
And how many Ghanaians are unaware that I am going to become the next president?
Are they really?
You are not aware. You are aware. And many other people are aware that I'll become the next president. So doing the internals is just a given. And who says that I have stopped? Every weekend, I don't spend weekends in Accra. I'm in one region or the other.
Campaigning.
Canvassing both party and non-party members and letting them understand that I am coming as soon as the party is done with the events. As I sit here, the entire team working around me knows who our running mate is going to be. So we know the set of policies that we are going to bring. And so everything is being prepared towards that D-Day that the party has fixed. And I am confident, and I keep saying that, look, once the party has fixed the date, this weekend, some constituencies will do their constituency conferences. Next week, they will conclude constituency conferences. The following week is the regional conferences. So things have been set in motion. And so I'll be going to the Upper West region by the weekend, and I'm sure probably you may also go, because one of the persons who mentored me, who became MP for Dafiema, Buse Issa, has passed on, and I have to be in the Upper West region on Saturday. And so we are going to be there. And right after that, you still embark on your campaigns. And so I don't know why you chose to be sarcastic, but I can assure you.
I wasn't. I just thought, I was wondering.
It's a genuine concern, yes. But there cannot be sarcasm about it. The fact is that as an individual aspirant, I am working. The party is putting up structures, and you know that I don't control that.
Right. I
had occasion to meet with the flag bearer of 2020. 2020.
Who's going to win again?
Don't worry about that one. I met with the chairman of the Council of Elders, Samson Asaki. We met in a conclave to discuss if there were any difficulties, any nuances, so that we can come to help. Okay. And so if they think that things are the way they want to go about it, we are ready. We'll just comply with the decisions of the party, and then we'll deal with it. I'm happy that this communication should not be directed towards me. It should be directed towards Moses Daniba and David Apasara, who are the current executives of the party. That people like you who want to see a change.
Don't accuse them, they're not here. They're not here.
Who people like you who are interested, who are interested in seeing a buoyant nation away from the MPP and NDC, are worried that the PNC, a veritable political party, has not been able to conduct its internals.
Okay.
You know. So I think that is how I will leave
it. Okay, let's move on. So this morning there are quite a number of things to look at. I want us to start off with the NPP. We are going to have two main conversations about them. Yes, on Tuesday, 2 days ago, they outdoored their running mate in the person of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, popularly known as Napo. And in Kumasi, where the outdooring happened, subsequent to the outdooring, there's been a lot of mixed reaction. Yesterday, I crossed over even to the Ashanti region, to the Meishia South constituency, spoke with my colleague Isaac Bediako there, and if there's time, we're going to bring you excerpts of some of the things that the members in the constituency had to say about their outgone member of parliament and the decision to choose someone from the Ashanti region. And we all heard what the Otumfo say to the second said at the outdooring ceremony of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Okay. At that same outdooring, he also said that since 1957, there hasn't been any president who has performed better than Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That has actually taken over the conversation from the outdooring. It's taking over the airwaves, and that's what everybody is discussing, who has been the best performing president, comparison between the two presidents, and who has performed better. Well, a lot of people said that it is quite disrespectful to compare Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But the spokesperson for Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has come out to say that it wasn't supposed to be an insult, it's a strong personal view. Well, he himself, the running mate to the flag bearer, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has come out to say that he was only expressing his view and he's being truthful. When he speaks the truth, they say he's disrespectful. When you keep quiet, you're timid. Why do we do that? Anyway, that's just by the way. I'm going to start off with you, Honorable Chinia.
Well, so let me say good morning to you. Good morning to my senior brother, Bernard, and Malik. My brother Malik. And also say good morning to the people of Sisala East, especially those listening to us on Sisala Radio.
Right,
my
yes.
constituency. Well, let me use this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh on his elevation from MPship to the running mate to His Excellency Dr. Mohammed, the next president of the Republic of Ghana. I mean, it is obvious that on the 7th of January 2025, Dr. Bawumia will be sworn in as the president of Ghana. And Matthew Opoku Prempeh, of course, by this outdooring and elevation as running mate, will be the vice president of the Republic of Ghana. So I congratulate him for being considered by our leader, Dr. Bawumia, and also being accepted by the National Council, which is the second highest decision-making body of our party, and by our constitutional arrangement. I mean, matters like this must be put before National Council for acceptance or otherwise. And he was accepted 100%. And so I congratulate him. And I have no doubt in his capacity to add some value to the ticket in terms of his knowledge, in terms of his support base, in terms of being able to help for us to win power, and more importantly, in terms of his ability to add on when we are in government. Because, I mean, there are two key things that for me that are critical. The running mate should be somebody who is able to add value in terms of the numbers that you need to garner to win election. And then when you win eventually, the running mate should be somebody who has the capacity to help the president to govern the country and make things better. And I think that on both scores, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is well placed, and I have no doubt on his ability to add on to His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, on the issue of his comparison of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government to previous government, I mean, it's in politics, it's people make comparisons. And you make the comparisons on the basis of your conviction and the facts available to you. And I would not hesitate to agree with him that in terms of policy performance, in terms of policy implementation, and the new things that have been done in Ghana, President Akufo-Addo has done extremely very well. And I mean, surpasses, I mean, many governments in the past. For instance, I mean, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was the first president of the Republic of Ghana. He's the foundation president. And the times of his presidency for me, and the fact that he's the foundation president of Ghana, makes him, whether you like him or not, makes him very important. I mean, I will not want to take away his speciality because of the fact that he's the first president of Ghana. I mean, we struggled to get independence, and this is the man who led us to independence. And so his relevance and his importance and the reverence that we need to give him as Ghanaians cannot be taken away. In fact, he's an icon for the whole of Africa. And the whole of Africa and the globe respects him. But of course, in terms of works, people can make comparison. For instance, he introduced free secondary education in Ghana, but limited to the north. And those of us from the north know that if not for the intervention by Nkrumah, probably our forefathers, our grandfathers, like Dr. Hillel Leman, Alhaji Mori Gala, S.D. Dombo, all the prominent people from the north were products of Nkrumah's free secondary education. And that actually gave them the opportunity to be in the limelight. But President Akufo-Addo has added on. I mean, it was limited to the north. Now it has been expanded, and free education is a nationwide policy. It's an added on. And I mean, from somebody's perspective, what Nkrumah started is good. It added value to a lot of people, especially those of us from the north. But Akufo-Addo has expanded it, and it covers the whole of Ghana. I personally do not want to go into the comparisons, but like I said, that is his view. But from my personal point, I think that there is no need comparing Nkrumah to other presidents because, I mean, to be the foundation of something means a lot. I mean, and once he's the foundation president, the first president of Ghana, for me, that speciality and that reverence that should be accorded him by all Ghanaians should be outstanding. And the statement for me was out of maybe excitement and otherwise, I mean, President Akufo-Addo has done well. We can compare his records to other presidents, but I don't think there is the need for our running mate to compare him to Dr. Bawumia, especially that Dr. Bawumia, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, especially that Dr. Nkrumah is not, I mean, is not going to be a matter of subject of discussion in the election. The NDC is presenting a former president, a former vice president. He has a record. So that is where the comparison should be. Because Bawumia is the current vice president. We have our record. The NDC is bringing a former president. So the comparison should be narrowed down to MPP, NDC, because they are competing parties. So for me, it was an overboard for him to bring Nkrumah into the equation. It was not necessary because, I mean, Nkrumah is not contesting an election. He's an icon for me sitting here. I'm not an Nkrumah, but I see him as an icon. I have high regard for him. And I believe there are many Ghanaians who may not be with the CPP or the Nkrumah's tradition, but they have high regard for him. But of course, every leader has his or her shortfalls. Nkrumah has his low points, but for me, he's an important personality. And when we are doing this discourse, I mean, we should continue to leave him in his place and reduce the comparisons to the Fourth Republic, where the NDC, because the Nkrumah's parties are, in any way, are very weak. And Bernard is sitting here, he's an Nkrumah, but he doesn't know who is going to be the leader of his party. I mean, the very few days to the election, Bawumia is campaigning in the north, Dr. Matthew Puku-Prempeh is campaigning, John Mohammed is campaigning, but they are still struggling, and they are the Nkrumahs. So I think that the comparison should be reduced, in my view, to the NDC and MPP, more especially that we have a certain vice president who has a record. His government has a record, or his party has a record, contesting a former president who was a former vice president. They also have a record. They were in government for 8 years. We were in government for 8 years. The comparison, and when you get there, Serwaa, it is obvious. I mean, in terms of if it is road infrastructure, if it is educational facilities, if it is health infrastructure, I mean, the MPP has outperformed the NDC. And I believe that on the 7th of December, the good people of Ghana all on the basis of the MPP's exceptional performance as against the NDC. Vote for the MPP. I mean, I also agree that in terms of our current economic challenges, I mean, things are difficult. There is no doubt about that. But like I keep saying, it is equally the same everywhere across the globe, that countries globally, their economies have been affected and all economies are struggling. You go to Egypt, even feeding food is a problem. You go to South Africa, the doomsday situation is worse than what we recorded under Mohammed. Recently, we saw what happened in Kenya and many other countries, even the developed countries. In the UK, we've seen that their healthcare system, their economy, everything has gone down. In America, things have gone down. So globally, all economies have been affected, and Ghana has not been an exception. And of course, that has some daunting challenges on the living conditions of Ghanaians and all that. So but in spite of all that, the MPP's record in terms of whether it is the economy, whether it is road infrastructure, whether it is education, we have outperformed the NDC.
Okay, for instance, hold on. We will come to a comparison of the two a little later, because your flag bearer says that we should consider the records of both parties. So we'll get there. But right now we are dealing with NAPO. And the CPP has issued a statement asking him to apologize for belittling Nkrumah and a subsequent resignation. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't think that he belittled Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Even though I agree that the comparison was not very necessary. I don't think the intention was to belittle Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, not at all. And so it was just a matter of comparison, trying to compare President Akufo-Addo's government against all governments in Ghana's history from 1957.
But he made specific reference that Momfamu Kwame Nkrumah.
So I've said that, I mean, I don't think that statement was good enough.
Good taste.
I don't think so. But I don't think the intention was to insult or to undermine Nkrumah.
So would it be appropriate for him to apologize then?
I'll be happy if he does that.
Okay.
I'll be happy if he does that.
Okay.
But for him to resign and for anybody to suggest that he insulted Nkrumah, I mean, I don't think that it is in the...
And I must say that you're one of the very first few persons in the NPP with this position, or so that's
but
quite refreshing.
In life, there's nothing wrong. If I even say something, I'm convinced that what I've said is right, but I hurt somebody and you are bitter about it, there's nothing wrong for me to say sorry.
Have you said that to your running mate?
No, I've not spoken to him. So I'm just making the point that if I say something about Bernard, and I am convinced that what I've said about Bernard is right, but Bernard is bitter and, I mean, he's complaining, I mean, there's nothing wrong for me to say, even though I'm convinced what I've said is right, to say, oh, my brother, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because the intention is not to hurt you.
All
so
right.
if our running mate has said something that, I mean, some people feel affected, some people feel it's an insult, there's nothing wrong for him to say, I've withdrawn and apologize. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right. Malik.
Serwaa, I don't know how long we will wait for Napo to apologize. But the news I have for you is that yesterday, he confidently said he was not going to apologize.
Where did he say
that? That he spoke the truth. Made these comments at the Wasa Amenfi Chief's Palace. And said he did nothing wrong. And so we can maybe pray that one day, maybe, if it ever happens, Napo would apologize for his comments. But I sitting here know Matthew Opoku Prempeh very, very well. And I know that he will never apologize for any wrongdoing. That is how he was born. That is the caliber of person we have. And he's totally unrepentant of whatever wrong he does. Look, if there was an opportunity for him to ever have apologized in the history of this country, It was when he insulted diploma teachers. He said anybody who undertook a diploma certificate course did so because the person had bad grades. I was one of the first people to have told him that my father first undertook diploma in teaching. He did so not because he had bad grades, but because he was born in a small village up in the Upper East called Binduri. At that time, all they engaged in was farming, and he couldn't afford to pay his school fees and then pursue a 4-year course degree program. So he had to first undertake a diploma in teaching, get a job, start earning a salary, and then better his education. Okay. So while you attest to the fact that there are PhD holders in this country who started with diploma certificates. Yet Matthew Opoku Prempeh ignorantly and arrogantly sat on TV and said that they did so, diploma students did so because they had bad grades. I'm wondering how you ever campaign to diploma students. Or maybe to him they can be good in votes, but not good at anything in this country. When Napo insulted senior high school students, in fact, when senior high school students requested that all they needed were latrines and washrooms, Napo looked at them and said they had polybags. They could use it. That day, I, for a moment, felt sorry for Mother Ghana, that we had such characters as ministers. Look, the day senior high school students were collapsing at the Independence Square, all because they could not get simple WASI posting. I write my exams. I pass. Your system got jammed. I didn't get posting. I have come there to beg you as minister to give me posting. And you look at them, arrogantly lie that it was President Mohammed who bashed them there and directed them on how to come and be collapsing. That President Mohammed taught some how to fall as if they were infected with epilepsy. And then, few moments later, Fact Check Ghana had to tell him that, Mr. Minister, what you said was not true. Napo never apologized for any of those things. And so, even with things that had to do with the lives of Ghanaian citizens, he didn't apologize. So, how will you, suddenly feel for a moment that Napo sees this as any wrong? He doesn't. In fact, this is the least part of his arrogance. And in the coming days, mark my words, anywhere on this wall, you would see him in different form. You see, what saddens my heart is that Otumfuo Osei Tutu II deliberately buffed him. He cleansed him. At least, if not for anything at all, Otumfuo said chiefs were not involved in politics. That but you cannot sit down and your rival will be passing and you will not eye him. He gave an account proverb, which meant that because Napo had maybe grown up in the palace or because he had paid the fees of Napo, he wanted to do a little bit of politics. And to quote Otumfuo, he said, people say you are arrogant. I didn't train you to be arrogant. And of course, even the father of Atai will say he didn't train Atai to be a thief. It is outsiders who would bring you and say your son is arrogant or your son is a thief. And then one day when you see the evidence, you will know. So Otumfuo said what a chief should say. Then Napo, few moments later, so it was as if they just bathed you, cleaned you. A few moments later, you go and dirty yourself again. Do yourself nyama. Just say why you feet on the podium. Look, but for the fact that Otumfuo said this publicly, and you see, kings are wise. Serwaa. Otumfuo quoted, and let me quote him. He said, I've advised you in the room, I will say it to the hearing of everyone, go and be humble. If Otumfuo had not said it publicly, wallahi, wallahi, I would have blamed Otumfuo for not advising Napo in the room. But we bore witness, you and I, that Otumfuo advised the young man to change from his old ways and go and be humble. Then you mount a podium, get mic, and then you start desecrating, denigrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Look, a nation that does not honor its heroes, it's not worth dying for. Sometimes I sit down and I ask myself, so if I ever fight and die for this country, and we one day in future have people like Napo, is this the way they would denigrate and desecrate me? So all what we have been doing, so you wake up in the morning and come and sit here, you work for this country day and night. One day in future, you have characters like Matthew Pogo Prempe, and they'll desecrate you this way. How will you feel in your grave? I can imagine how Dr. Kwame Nkrumah will be turning in his casket by now and wondering the sort of country Ghana has become. Look, few months ago, we watched Professor Nana Jenopoku-Agyeman. We watched her outdooring. So I don't know if you were there at UPSA. When the woman mounted a podium, she spoke on gender issues. She felt compassion for the Ghanaian people. She exhibited full traits of understanding the crisis 1.8 million unemployed Ghanaian youth were going through. She professed solution. She stated policy. People listened to Professor Nana Jane, and at least 1 million women heard that upon assumption of office, they will get loans from the Women's Bank, first in history in this country. This is a woman. Look, one day I spoke to an unpaid contractor after Prof. James and Carter, and all he said was, Malik, I have not been paid. I am down in poverty, yet I have gotten hope for a better tomorrow. When you came to Kempinski, you were there, Serwaa. In fact, I offered you a seat. You met the nation builder, President Mohammed. What did he tell you? He spoke policy. You asked a brilliant question, and I'm confident and I'm convinced that you got enticed with his answer. You found hope. You saw prosperity. You saw vision when the man was speaking. Then, a few moments later, when this country, in fact, when people became hopeful of a better tomorrow, you go to Kumasi, and look, they got the mic. It was whining and dancing. Baumia will, as usual, boogie. He will say nothing. And then at the end of the day, they will wine and drink and dine and come and sit down. These are the people we pay taxes to. And that is what saddens my heart. But you see, of all these things, that extent at which Napo, Akufo-Addo, and Baumia decided to insult Otumfuo to his face is what I still cannot understand till date. And let me explain that to you. In 2022, Otumfuo said Dumso had affected his home to the extent that all his home appliances were damaged, if you remember. He said, Napo, the day you came home, you were just about to go and eat. When the light went off. And I asked you, Napo, have you seen it yourself? He said, yes. Then I said, Napo, go and fix it. You admitted to Dumso, only for Napo to come back on the podium. And the first comment Napo made was, there has not been Dumso under the administration of the MPP. Akufo-Addo repeated the same thing. Oh, wow. So it means that Otumfuo lied. That is what you came to do in Kumasi. It means that Otumfuo's gadgets were never destroyed. I mean, who thinks at this level? We thought that if chiefs speak, in fact, the citizens have attested. Kumasi people have demonstrated. And you look at them and you think that, excuse me to say, you are speaking to headless chickens. You are speaking to people who do not live in the crisis we find ourselves in. Look, we have been begging them for a debate for quite too long. And we have told them to come face to face. Let's compare President Mohammed's records. And let's see their records.
Speaking of debates, there's a new video of
Baumia saying he wants a debate now. They should first debate Dr. Nkrumah because they want to compare their records.
Oh, you don't want the debate
Nkrumah
again?
No, they should first because we had been calling for that. If you remember, President Mohammed told them that leave Dr. Nkrumah and come and face me. You saw that video.
Let's play that video. Let's play that video.
Yes.
I am looking forward to a debate with John Mahama on the economy, on the country, on the governance. But I'm afraid that he's running away from a debate, isn't it? His people say he doesn't want to debate, but he doesn't want to debate because he knows I'll expose the emptiness of his policies. He says he has a 24-hour economy that he cannot explain. It's as empty as an empty barrel. He cannot explain it. None of his people can explain it. They say they will be exporting lions and elephants. But when we meet mano a mano, we can debate, and the country will see where our policies lie. And that is where we...
Right, so are you ready for the debate?
A young girl at a nursing training in Techiman debated Dr. Bawumia for just 5 minutes. She asked him a simple question. She said, "Sir, they haven't paid my alawa." His whole head was filled with sweat. He had to clean the head before he mounted the podium and lied. A young lady debated him. What is he going to debate us on? Has he finished explaining to pensioner bondholders why they can? I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Has he finished explaining to pensioner bondholders why they haven't paid their bonds? Has he finished explaining to unpaid contractors why they haven't paid them? In fact, he should go to Central University and tell them why his voodoo economics he did in 2016, those lies he was doing, the dollar has still not been arrested. In fact, he should go and ask the IGP how the dollar escaped prison, and we are changing it at 16 cedi now. Has he finished explaining to workers and you and I why we buy a gallon of petrol at 100 Ghana cedis? This is what he should be telling us. Look, 2020, President Mahama called for a debate. His party, together with his boss, Akufo-Addo, they wrote a letter telling us they will not engage in a debate. You remember, Serwaa? You were in this country. Chinia was there. Bernard Mona was there.
That is Akufo-Addo. Bawumia wants a debate.
Today,
so
you are calling for a debate.
Are you accepting or no?
Look,
Malik.
President Mahama.
Simple question.
President
answer.
Mahama.
Are you accepting the debate or not?
President Mahama met you journalists. He gave you an opportunity to ask him all questions.
So I asked questions.
There was no question going. There's no question anyone again can ask President Mahama beyond what you guys asked him. Bawumia should first meet you people that way. Answer your questions. Then he can meet us for a debate. We are ready. President Mahama knows what he's done. We are ready because we can tell the Ghanaian people how we're able to sell petrol at 4.2 cedi a litre. We are ready because we can tell Ghanaian people how we're able to peg the dollar at 4 cedi a dollar. We are ready because we can tell the Ghanaian people how we're able to manage the economy without denying pensioners of their bonds. We are ready because we can tell contractors how we're able to manage the economy and still pay them their amounts of monies. If Bawumia has finally gained balls and momentum to face President Mahama, he should first meet you media people. He met a nurse. She embarrassed him. He got to Techiman magazine. They gave him a home-use Opel Vectra steer, and he was dancing with. Look, maybe he wants us to go to the theater and joke, but we mean business. And we'll continue to profess solution in this country.
So is former President Mahama interested in the debate?
We are fully ready. We are fully ready for any debate.
Okay.
We have been calling for it. We called for it in 2020. He, with his boss, they ran away. If they want it now, we are ready. But he should first meet you media people. You need to ask him questions before he comes to us.
Don't give condition. You want the debate or not?
Napo, Bawumia are the same. If you catch a monkey, my father used to say, and you bath it, and you shave the armpit, and you put makeup on the face, and add lipstick, it is still a monkey. They will never change. Bawumia has lied from the first day he became vice president till date. Napo has been incompetently arrogant ever since he became minister till date, and the records are there to show. At least people know what Prof. Jane has done for this country. People know what President Mahama has done, and people have listened to both parties. They have listened to President Mahama profess a 24-hour economy policy. They've listened to President Mahama profess a women's bank. They've listened to President Mahama profess mining refineries and mining communities. They've listened to President Mahama profess cocoa refineries and cocoa communities. They've listened to President Mahama profess a cashew board to cashew communities. They've listened to President Mahama profess a fixed rate to importers and exporters. And they've listened to how President Mahama is going to stabilize the economy. And they've also listened to a man who has been traveling and shouting, "Mama, Mistiano, Monfa Stiano, Mame, you haven't given us jobs. How can we buy a steer for you?" So people will definitely take a decision, and I believe strongly that all well-meaning Ghanaians will definitely choose President Mahama and Professor Nana Jeno Pokwachman.
Okay. Bernard.
So permit me to mourn an illustrious son of the Upper West region, the Northern Ghana, Sir Dr. Edward Jadare. Yesterday, whilst I was on TV3, I was receiving several calls or calls were coming through my phone because I couldn't receive. And when I responded that I'll call after the show, I got a bombshell that Dr. Edward Jadara had passed.
Yeah.
I couldn't contain the news that I also had to say it. Apparently, he had just died moments when the news got to me because of my closeness to the family. And many, even at the village level, had not been informed. So it was like I was the bearer of bad news. Oh. And many people got very confused. People were calling from Bolga, from Tamale, and everywhere to find out what happened. The truth is that he's gone. Such a magnet. He was a healer. Unfortunately, he could not be healed. And so he passed on. I think that it will be prudent, particularly that the Honorable Chinia has been a deputy Upper West Regional Minister and is still a deputy Minister of Sanitation, that calibers like Dr. Edward Jadare, they seldom live. And therefore, he should take the appropriate step to inform the region. Even if the nation will not honor him with a state barrier, the region should honor him with a regional funeral. We cannot do less for this man. He simply was a spirit when it came to many facets of life. And somehow, he decided to bid goodbye in a very unusual, because after the Golukoro's funeral, whilst I was getting back to Tamale as I promised, he called me and to tell me that there was some lady of the NDC who was on platform and talking about the national health insurance as if they brought it. And that, why am I keeping quiet about it? The next day, he called me again to tell me that somebody was there talking about free education and that they have forgotten that Nkrumah brought free education. And again, charged me to respond to these people and that our failing to respond to these people, a certain trend of lies is being repeated. And if we are not careful, those who don't know will believe that these lies stayed in. Then I woke up to a rude shock that probably the man was communicating that somebody was going to undermine Kwame Nkrumah again. And just the day that Kwame Nkrumah was undermined, I don't want to link it, but I'm sure it will be probably one of the things that pained the man so much that he decided to give up the ghost. I am part of the family, so I don't know how to console the family again, because everybody knows that I'm part of the family. In fact, his first son, biological son, as soon as it happened, he called me straight away. Every other member of the family had to call me. And so we owe it a duty to honor the life and times of Dr. Edward Jadare. And I think that the doctors, if they have an association, they must begin to honor, because this man and the mentorship he has given to many people in the medical field, in the field of politics, in tradition, and many other aspects is unmeasured. Now, let me also congratulate the MPP for doing everything that matters for them to prepare for an election. They have finished, except that they have up to Sunday to do the last parliamentary primaries, because of the nomination of Matthew Poku Prempeh as the running mate, there is a vacancy that has been created. And so they are doing that parliamentary primaries on Sunday to elect a replacer for the Manshia, is it South? Manshia North constituency. Otherwise, the MPP is fully Manshia South. They are ready. The PNC, as you said, has not done these stages. And so it's important to comment the MPP. And of course, the NDC, they have also concluded their processes. We in the PNC should follow suit so that we can conclude to become competitive, so that Chinia will stop saying the kind of things that he's saying that are not palatable. The second congratulations I want to do is that the organizers, the planners of the outdooring inauguration of Matthew Poku Prempeh, they did their job. It was massive, it was beautiful, magnificent. I got worried. I got worried because I've been around for some time, and I know that at a certain point in time, President Kufuor was elected as flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. I assume he also comes from the royal family. But the royal home did not welcome President Kufuor with the same pomp and pageantry as somebody who was going to become president, not vice president. I did not see that the royal home did that. But the lack of Matthew Poku Prempeh is that when he was nominated as a running mate to a political party, not even president, vice president yet, the entire Asante-Man gathered. Every chief was in presence. The Otufoɔ sat in council to welcome the news of one of their own. And if you listen to the witty words of the Otufoɔ, they were heavy, they were pregnant, waiting to be delivered. And so if you look at the colorful nature of the whole thing, I sat in my office and I watched this thing for 4 hours. At a certain point, I had to call Anthony Kabu and say, Charlie, this one, you are threatening us.
Who is us? PNC.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering that when I'm elected the flag bearer of my party, of my party, and I go to the Upper West region, whether our chiefs will gather from every community to appreciate the fact that I am putting up myself to become the president of Ghana. I am wondering. And whether they will take me inside and counsel me the way Otunfoɔ counseled Napo, and bring me outside and give me a public advice. I'll be excited, I'll be elated, and probably this is a challenge to the chiefs of the Upper West region, that they should watch what Otunfoɔ and his chiefs did in outdooring a running mate, not a presidential candidate. And so I am keen. So I was sitting there and saying that, look, I'm waiting to see. Now, I want to see the Dafiamana. I want to see the one. I want to see the Tumukoro. I want to see all the Koros at one center, welcoming their own. It will be great. You should be there. You should be there. So, to be honest with you, I called my kid brother Anthony Kabu and congratulating them for the spectacular organization. I sent messages to some of them. Then the Otunfoɔ comes to speak. And when I listened to the Otunfoɔ, I said, wow, I thought chiefs are not supposed to do politics. But he found a way to do politics. In that, he said a couple of things, but concluded the way Malik started. That they say, if you don't even, you are not supposed to get jealous of your rival. But when you are sitting down and your rival is wobbling her buttocks around, you look at her with some queerness. And so this is my son, who is becoming a running mate, or who is a running mate, a potential vice president. And people say I should not do politics. Wait the Monfan Cheme. And told the people that this is your own. He went further to say that, Napo, don't do anything for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to regret selecting you. When chief speaks, you must appreciate what they say. Because there are many people within Ashanti that Bawumia could have picked. Should I mention names? And yet he settled for you. So don't give him any chance to regret selecting you. That was a potent advice. The second potent advice is that I brought you up. I paid your school fees up to the medical school. I have not seen arrogance in you, but people are saying you are arrogant. Go out there and ensure that that tag does not follow you. Because the tag of arrogancy following you is not royal enough. This is what the Otumfuo said. And my brother, just from that place, moves out. It's less than 10 minutes if you are walking in the thick crowd to where the rally took place. And you know, I was excited in many ways. That President Akufo, you see, everything tells you that it was Matthew Poku Prempe's day. Because it's not common for a president to speak before you. But the president spoke. The vice president and leader of the New Patriotic Party spoke and introduced you and said, this is your day. Make it what you want to say. So I'm sure that if they gave you that opportunity, I can imagine what you will say, thanking the Almighty God for lifting you out of obscurity to opportunity. Thanking the Asantehene for advising you and giving you candid advice and giving you the touchlight to go out there and shine. Thanking Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for selecting you amongst many. And thanking Nana Akufo-Addo for making Bawumia what he is to enable Bawumia make you. Then reference the crowd and say, I will be what you want me to be if you go out there to work. I can just imagine how you would have summarized it. Because I can read your mind. This is where my elder brother, Matthew Poku Prempe, flopped. Garbu. He went. Then he started talking. Then, of course, if you listen, when he realized that he has tombed, he said, and many obia. After you had...
So then you agree when he says that he thinks that statement was made out of overexcitement?
You know that it was repeated? President Akufo-Addo, efi 1957, aye juma echeng obiaga na omampenyibia. As if that is not enough. Then say, Mo Kwame Nkrumah no. If he had said so, that waye juma cheng obia President Bia efi 1957, probably he did not mention name. So you can give it. But when he goes further to say that your Kwame Nkrumah, even your Kwame Nkrumah. So, and you were made Minister for Education. And we saw the deliberate attempt to obliterate what Nkrumah stood for. And people thought that it was a mistake. Some people say it was the printer's devil. By these utterances, it means that the man was deliberate. He had actually intentioned to do the kind of things that he did at the Ministry of Education to caricature our nation's history and the significance of Kwame Nkrumah. That is what he did. But so I sent you a picture.
Yes.
And that picture speaks volumes. In the history of the world, Emperor Haile Selassie, this picture, never stood up before anybody. It doesn't matter whether you are a king, you are a queen, whether you come from the United States or you come from Cuba, you come from Russia, he will sit to welcome you. But on the day that Kwame Nkrumah arrived at Addis, in the palace of Emperor Haile Selassie, the man got up because he has seen that a significant, a magnet, a colossus of African has arrived in his palace. The man stood up. And this picture, up to date, if you go to Ethiopia and everywhere, they will tell you that this was the day that the king, Emperor Haile Selassie, stood up to welcome somebody. That is to tell you that the greatness of Kwame Nkrumah is far, far beyond the boundaries of Ghana. But the Ghana that we are talking about, keep this picture. You can keep it in your archives. And always reference that this man never stood up before anybody, any human being on earth, except Kwame Nkrumah. That is the picture that you are seeing. Napo. Napo. Mahmoud Bawumia's father was an apprentice under Kwame Nkrumah. So Mahmoud Bawumia cannot go and undermine Kwame Nkrumah.
And your mama's father.
I will get to it. And your mama's father, there's no doubt.
Of course.
In fact, most Northerners, including Asumda. In fact, look, on the day that the Kunumbubu bomb took place, if people were to be dying, Mahmoud Bawumia's father, Asumda, and Igala would have all died, alongside with Kwame Nkrumah. So you see the nexus of Kwame Nkrumah and even the person who selected you as running mate. And you go and you decide that you will bring your insignificance to that man. I keep insisting this. Look, there has not been Ghana but Kwame Nkrumah. Sorry, stop, bro. There has not been Ghana but Kwame Nkrumah. See, we used to have the Northern Territories that were not part of the colony.
Yeah.
We used to have the Ashanti that was not part of the colony. And we have the Trans-Togoland Volta that was not part of the colony. In fact, the Trans-Togoland Volta was not colonized by the British. They were not colonized by the French. They were colonized by the Germans who were defeated in the World War. And when Germany was defeated, they decided that they would not keep any colonies any longer. So Trans-Togoland Volta became a trusteeship under the UN. So when Ghana did our elections, our independence election in 1956, not 1957, Kwame Nkrumah, wanting to put all these things, these territories, this Ashanti, this colony, and the Trans-Togoland Volta as a single mat, decided to delay the declaration of our independence and went to get the people to do a referendum. If you take that stretch, it starts from Aplao, goes through Yendi, because Yendi was under German control. And you know that the Dagombas fought a war with the Germans. It goes through all the way to Napanduri, goes to Garu and to Kwekpra. How Kwame Nkrumah managed to get these people and their acquiescence to be part of Ghana before the independence was declared. Napo, where were you? Where were you? So when we are talking about Ghana, the architecture of Ghana was drawn by Kwame Nkrumah. There cannot be a comparison. This is what I say. I don't do religion. But if Kwame Nkrumah were to be in the religious balance, he would have been a prophet. Nobody can get up and emerge stronger than Prophet Mohammed. Nobody can get up and emerge stronger than Jesus Christ. So will nobody, dead or alive or yet to be born, be greater than Kwame Nkrumah and what he stood for. You see, if you go to Burkina Faso, you see what Ibrahim Traoré is doing. Magnificent. But they always say that he is like a reincarnate of Thomas Sankara. Do you understand? That is to tell you that the image of Thomas Sankara is well cemented, that is not in doubt. When BBC decided to do polls in the year 2000, Mandela was alive. He had emerged in the global stage. The UN has recognized him and given him Mandela International Day. They did the polls in the hope that they will be able to show Mandela as the greatest African. The gap that Kwame Nkrumah gave Mandela in the polls, so much that the BBC had to go to South Africa to find out from Mandela how he felt after the vote. And Mandela asked them, you didn't ask me a question. Then they said what? He said, you should ask me who I voted for. It is only after you get to know who I voted for, then you know who is the greatest African. And that he takes inspiration from Kwame Nkrumah. So it was shocking for him that they were making comparison with Kwame Nkrumah. You go eulogizing Mandela. And yet the people of South Africa, realizing how significant Mandela is, if you go to South Africa, they have created a bit of Mandela in 100 different places because they know what the value of Mandela is to their tourism sector. When Akufo-Addo decided to do the year of return, you know what happened? They realized that all the tourists that arrive at the airport, when they ask you, where are your places of interest that you want to visit? Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. We want to see that African grave. We want to see. So they quickly had to go to the World Bank to go and contract a loan of $3.5 million to come and give a facelift of that place so that they can earn money. And listen to Ken Ofori-Atta when he was speaking. That the number of tourists that come to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, if they are taking 5 cedis a day, this is the amount of money they will see. So you use Kwame Nkrumah because you see him as a commodity to be commercialized to enhance your revenue mobilization.
When is money?
Why? See, our leaders, we cannot get too excited as to undermine our own potentialities.
Right.
Matthew Poku is a very good brother and a friend.
He's a good man.
Do you understand? But there are territories you don't venture.
Okay.
Senior says okay.
Go ahead. Wrap up.
I have some.
Please.
My final submission is this. One of your colleagues at Joy, Kojo Yankson, as if he is also a prophet, made a prediction that, look, choosing Matthew Poku, that, Vaumia, you are a good man. But choosing Matthew Poku Prempeh, you are one statement away from defeat. And that before you realize, the man will make a reckless statement.
He said, after his outdooring.
That he will make a reckless statement. And this is what the man has done. See, look, if you go into the recent history, and now Matthew Poku Prempeh knows this, because of a reckless statement made by Victor Owusu, that the Ewes are inward-looking people, that statement has followed and continued to hound the New Patriotic Party and its tradition. And today, you bulk the entire African continent and tell them that our hero, our sage, that he is a nobody. Education, and Chinia mentioned it, came to southern Ghana more than 100 years until Kwame Nkrumah became independent and extended secondary education to the northern parts. People like Alhaji Mahama Idrisu and co, you know, they walked from Upper West, then Northwestern. They will walk through the bushes and the chiefs will be hosting them. Mumini Dimbie and co, they walked to come to Tamale to come and attend school. This is how they attended secondary school. Courtesy Kwame Nkrumah. It is no wonder that no secondary school in the Upper West, in the northern regions, can claim to be 75 years old. All of them were done, and education expanded to the north. We understand the role Kwame Nkrumah has played. I don't want to talk about the industries. I don't want to talk about the many factories, the opportunities that Kwame Nkrumah brought. The university Napo attended, KNUST, was constructed, was built from foundation by Kwame Nkrumah to enable you obtain university education. This is not the man that you should undermine.
Okay.
So, I have some few comments from Malik.
Please, quickly, because we have other topics to deal with. But
they actually spoke.
You spoke longer. You did. I timed
Actually,
you.
I spoke for him when I spoke about Dr. Jedere, so you don't need to speak on that.
But I have to express my.
Don't worry. I'll give you 2 minutes because.
But my sympathies to the family of Dr. Jedere. I mean, he's a great man, very, very great man for the Upper West region. Now, the first point I want to make is that Napo's comment about Nkrumah, for me, I have said, is below the belt, but it is not injurious as the way Bernard and Malik are putting it. No. I mean, the part that I think is distasteful when he said you're Nkrumah. Otherwise, comparing president is not a crime. It's not out of place. If Napo decides to compare President Akufo-Addo to President Nkrumah, it's not a crime. The only part, like I said, when he says you're Nkrumah, Nkrumah being the foundation president of Ghana is a personality that must be celebrated by every Ghanaian, whether you agree with his policies or not.
Right.
That is but we should not make the whole situation look like it is a crime, it is wrong for anybody to compare the record of President Akufo-Addo or any other president to, the record of Nkrumah. There's nothing wrong with that. You can disagree that the comparison, Nkrumah's record is more than President Akufo-Addo. He also make his case. There is nothing wrong with that. But like I said, Marty Opoku Prempeh is somebody, Serwaa, you and Bernard, even long before Bawumia himself was elected, I have always said that I want him and Bawumia to go together. So it's somebody I have stood for so long. But where he gets it wrong, I'll point it out.
Do you agree with those who say that he's arrogant?
He's not. He's not arrogant. I mean,
based on your personal experience with him.
Making comparison.
Yeah, but what of the people who haven't had personal experiences with him and they have had to watch him on television, hear him speak as a minister, as a member of parliament?
He's not.
Okay. He's
not arrogant.
All
now Malik makes
quickly.
Malik makes the point. Malik makes the point about Napo talking about diploma holder and certificate. I mean, don't let us, because of politics, take matters out of content. If you want us to believe what you are saying, bring the entire context, text. The man spoke in a context. They were upgrading, I went to teacher training college. And at the time I went, it was certificate, awarding institution.
So you had bad results.
Now, what is it?
It
was upgraded to diploma by President Kufuor. And it has been upgraded to degree by President Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
Now, in the man trying to justify the importance of upgrading it, justifying the reasons for upgrading it, talks about the fact that, I mean, people, the qualification varies. The qualification you take to go and do a certificate course cannot be the same as diploma. And the certificate you use for a diploma cannot be the same as degree. That is a matter of fact. How does that mean that he disrespects teachers? If there is anybody who has disrespected teachers, it's former President Mohammed.
Okay.
Why we were talking about allowances and salaries, and people were demonstrating, and he said he had dead goat syndrome. What is more insulting than that? You talk about arrogance. What is more arrogant than somebody, a president, who is supposed to be responsive to the aspiration and needs of the people, telling the people that I don't care. I have a dead goat syndrome. Whatever you do, whatever you say, I don't care. What is more arrogant than that? When the former MP, Osei Prempeh, spoke in Parliament, and former President Mohammed said he couldn't pronounce words because he was an Ashanti. What is more disrespectful than that? That was what former President Mohammed told Osei Prempeh when he spoke in Parliament, that Osei Prempeh couldn't pronounce certain words.
When did he say that?
In Parliament.
When
he was MP.
Who? 1990
When John Mohammed was MP. He said Osei Prempeh couldn't pronounce certain words because he was an Ashanti. What is more belittling than that? So, I mean, don't come and sit here and create the impression that somebody is arrogant, somebody is a liar, and Muhammad has belittled people more than any other person. Then you talk about lies. Muhammad has a record. Go and look at the 2012 manifesto of the NDC. If it is lies, if it is promises, unfulfilled ones, Muhammad is the worst.
Okay.
Muhammad promised to build 10 training colleges in Ghana.
Mr. Chinya, we will get to.
No.
Hold on.
I am saying this on the basis of he saying that Bawumia is a liar.
I have told you.
I want to tell him. I want to demonstrate to him that Muhammad is a liar.
Okay, we will get to the comparison.
If you are looking for a liar and you pass Muhammad, you never get a liar.
I told you that we will do a comparison of the two.
That was different. That was different.
It's the same thing.
I want to tell you because they say Bawumia is a liar because.
Hold on.
They make reference to unfulfilled.
Please hold on.
You allowed this man.
Hold on. I want us to wrap up on the Napo issue, then we can move on. Now, there are many who believe that you chose him because of the votes that you're expecting from the Ashanti region. Is that the case? For which reason he said that he's expecting about 85% votes from the Ashanti region?
I am speaking about Muhammad and the fact that he's talking about
we are not there yet.
People being liars and people being arrogant. When Muhammad was leading
Mr.
the ST, let's make this point.
Allow me to ask my question.
Yes, but let me also make my point.
No, when we get there, please, respectfully, then you make that comparison.
I am responding to his lies
doesn't
matter.
Respect you as the host.
Bernard, stop that.
No, I'm just trying to find out from him.
Mr. Chinya, is that the case?
No.
Did you choose him because you expect votes from the Ashanti region?
Serwaa, if you are putting if you choose somebody as a flag bearer or a running mate, there are two things. One, you want to win an election. Two, when you win the election, you want to implement your policies. So the two cardinal points that you consider in selecting your candidate is a winnable ticket, and when you win, they have the capacity to do the work. These two things are the main reasons why you select people. Now, to the point I was making. So
you didn't select him because he's from the Ashanti region and will give you the votes from the Ashanti region?
We selected him because we want to win an election. And after winning the election, we should be able to implement our policies.
Was he the best candidate? I ask you the question about the Ashanti region because even he, at his outdooring ceremony, said that he's expecting the MPP is expecting about 85% votes. But there is, from the Ashanti region, but there's an opinion poll here that has been conducted by the Global Info Analytics, which shows that not even, the votes have not improved. People do not intend to change their minds as a result of that.
Opinion polls are meant to guide politicians. I mean, I don't rule out any opinion poll. Even when it's against me, I take it and I use it to probably change the way I do things.
Right.
So it's a guide.
So was Napo the best candidate? Was he the best candidate?
Yes.
Okay.
But I still have to make my point.
You will
this
make
man talks about arrogance.
So let him
I want to demonstrate.
Let him land.
When NDC under former President Mahama wanted to do their STX project, and the opposition, the MPP, criticized them, former President Mahama said, it is only foolish and baloney people who will oppose. I mean, so if you are looking for somebody who is so disrespectful, who is so arrogant, who speaks against people who have genuine concerns, and you take out former President Mahama, you won't get one. But for me, everybody has his or her low point. There is no leader that we have produced, and even those who are aspiring, who doesn't have their low point. But you see, the NDC is forcefully and trying to create the impression that somebody is arrogant, somebody is a liar. I mean, every leader has its low point. So I'm just making this point. And normal, me, I don't like to say things about people as if I am undermining them. I like to focus on issues.
Okay.
But these people who always want to create that Opoku Prempeh is arrogant, but me is a liar. If you want us to go that line, we'll go. Mahama has a lot of statements he has made that shows that he shows some level of arrogance. He has made promises that he could not fulfill. That shows that he's a liar. So we can go on that line.
Okay. Speaking of that, Malik, make your final point on Napo so that we can delve into the next segment of the next topic, which is the comparison of the records.
Napo, truth to be told, I have sat on sister platforms to say that the young man needs help.
What kind of help?
Yeah, he needs help. He needs us to come together and speak to him on being able to manage himself. At least, before 2016, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo told us Mr. Akufo-Addo was rude and arrogant. Kofi Kumsin, who was a best friend to Akufo-Addo, told us that Mr. Akufo-Addo was very wicked. And if we voted for him, we would sleep with one eye closed. At least, Akufo-Addo was able to manage his character in the last days. You saw him drinking pure water. He went and was eating gobe with people. You saw him playing Ludo. Pretended. And then today, we have seen his true colors. Napo is struggling to pretend because it is an embedded spirit in him that he should always exhibit gargantuan arrogance wherever he finds himself. Look, if we talk about arrogant people in this country, and I am seeing Napo at the verge of taking the title from Mr. Akufo-Addo, the first president to have insulted chiefs in this country is Akufo-Addo. When the chiefs of Okumfi came and told him, asked him why he wasn't developing their place, he said they refused to give him an MP. And so to hell with them. They can go to hell. Their flower chief begged Akufo-Addo to open an E-block for them, if you remember. He said if the chief had guts, he should get up and go and open the block, the E-block. Insulted the Volta chief because they don't see Voltarians to be anything. When the Kumasi chief told him to make their roads for them, he said, he didn't come here to discuss roads. So you had no basis to ask him. Akufo-Addo went to the Oti region, used his left hand to tell a paramount chief to get up and shake him because he's Idi Amin. He feels he's Nebuchadnezzar. When he's coming, everybody should stand up and greet him. He attempted it in Damango. The Yegwaura told him he will not get up. He's too small. I went on TV and I told him that in the history of Gonjaland, when you tell a chief to get up like that, you can be turned to a goat. Mr. Akufo-Addo has disrespected chiefs on a number of occasions. Yeah. And you see, Serwaa, when we speak about people who lie,
you like good lies.
We don't just sit on set and say lie based on perception. Look, there are so many perceptions on people in this country. You know it. WikiLeaks. He told us that Akufo-Addo killed his best friend to marry the best friend's wife. It's a perception. WikiLeaks said, look, Akufo-Addo smokes ganja. It's a perception. That's WikiLeaks report. But to speak on facts, Bawumia went to Yendi and promised Yana that he's going to build an airstrip for him. Cut short for an agric university. He ran away. Till date, we haven't seen him. He went to Palugu, his own hometown. Even if you want to be wicked to anybody, not the people who took care of you. Look, anytime it rains, Serwaa, the people of the Northeast, Bawumia's hometown, sometimes they come on the streets to sleep in classrooms. Because when the spillage of the Bagre Dam comes, it consumes their houses. During rainy season, July is coming. When we went to Palugu, I saw young children. And look, I was looking at them and I said, July, August is coming. When they spill the Palugu Dam, I'm wondering where these kids will sleep. Yet, Bawumia, with a very wicked mentality, decided they siphoned 11.9 million. The Auditor General report said they've already paid the money. Yet not even a block has been taken to Palugu. If you can do this to your own people, then what can't you do to people? You came to Damango. You promised to build a house of chiefs for us. Took the Yegbaura there to go and cut sword. I remember in 2009 when President Kufuor came and cut sword for the Fofoloso Solar Road. By then, the Damango had asthma. They put him on a grader. Wine on the road. That night, we had to rush Damango to hospital. His asthma got up. They left Damango and never constructed the road. It was President Mahama who came and did the road for us. You went to Tamale. You, Dr. Bawumia, went and promised people a whole lot of things. Cut swords. Went to Deborah in Yape Kosogo. Cut sword for an inland port. You refused to do it. Look, we're in this country, Serwaa. We didn't force Dr. Bawumia to come and tell you and I that they've arrested the dollar. And that the key was with the IGP. Today, is the dollar still under arrest? So when we speak of Dr. Bawumia's lies, we don't just say you are a liar. There's history to the number of times he has lied through his teeth. And it is not good for our leaders to take us for granted. Look, put lies, put arrogance aside. These two pair, Bawumia and Nanado, who are Aki and Popo. Look, but when Nanado siphons state funds, Bawumia follows him to do same. If you remember, the first president, I beg your pardon, please.
No,
when you were talking,
you can't say that. You can't make a baseless allegation.
Please,
Sample
please.
state facts.
When you, I beg your pardon.
I will let
when you were speaking, I was very
But you
quiet.
can't make. I don't make baseless allegations.
Control him.
I don't.
When you were speaking, I was quiet.
Please go ahead.
Please tell him to be very mute. I kept quiet. Look, the first president to have been caught on tape taking brown envelope with 2 hands was Akufo-Addo. The tape is there. When Mr. Akufo-Addo came to power, he boosted Amihere deal from 510 to 1.3 billion in this country. Attempted duping the people of country over 800 million. When we caught him red-handed like a thief, he told us that he was misled and that he knew nothing about it. Bawumia quickly realized that his boss is siphoning to the extent that Nyantechi said his boss is now in his pocket. Bawumia now decided to go and sit down with PDS people. They negotiated PDS, changed a bank guarantee to insurance, guarantee, and they presented fraudulent documents. It was your own colleague, Minister Mewu, who came and told us that the documents they presented, Bawumia and his cartel, were fraudulent, and as a result, they had to squash PDS. Look, a businessman imported 10,000 bags of rice at the port. Bawumia's office, they wrote a letter to the port, taking the 10,000 bags of rice, seasoned it, and shared it as salad rice. When Bawumia was caught, he told the people of this country that he didn't do it. That was his administrator called Kekose. Look, what is the business with Kekose with salad rice? Look, if you are in a room and Peter and Abu are in a room and Buta gets message, who stole the Buta? Bawumia took the 10,000 bags, shared it as salad rice. You and your minister, Cecilia Dapa, $43 million that they gave you people to go and dredge the Odo Lagoon. You people sat down, unaccounted, squandered it. When you and your minister go to Parliament,
you can't make this baseless statement.
Please.
Don't say what you don't know.
You were shouting.
Stop the arrogance.
Hold on.
$43 million.
Hold on.
Who spent it?
Please, let me make my
You don't know, so don't talk.
Honorable
I
respond.
What kind of arrogance is that?
Once he's done, I will give you the chance to respond.
You thought it was easy.
I'll give you the chance to respond. So please, let our viewers follow the conversation. I'll give you the chance to
$43 million, you and your boss. World Bank gave you to dredge Odo Lagoon. You came and told Parliament you've dredged it. Go and look at the Odo Lagoon. When I finish, I'll use my last money to buy fuel in your car. We'll go and I'll show you Odo Lagoon. You people squandered it. You go to Parliament. When Parliament asked you to account for it, you were shivering. Little did we know that $1 million plus was hidden under Cecilia Dapa's bed. But for him,
but you don't know. You do not know the source of the
yes,
of
but that's
the money.
why I said little do we know.
It will be unfortunate for you to make
no problem. But we found $1 million under Cecilia Dapa's bed. We found 300,000 euros under Cecilia Dapa's bed. Her handbags and watches and everything were $1.2 million. The husband's suit alone was more than $1 million. When you add all what they made stole and they reported, out of the big one under the bed, I can't account for it. We don't know what is under your bed. But when we come to power, you haven't even, when they appointed you minister, you didn't declare assets. We are aware of that. When we come to office, you are one of the first people who go to jail because we will not spare you. He as minister,
he will go to jail for what?
Non-declaration of assets. It's a crime in this country. He has not declared his assets. He's one of the first people who will be investigated and put behind bars. So, look, we can sit on set and decide to misconstrue discussions and take things for granted. But the facts are facts and facts are sacrosanct. Bawumia is a liar. Napo is an incompetent, arrogant man. And the two pair are a condemned team. We in NDC were always praying that at least they should be able to meet us halfway. Because President Mahama has been thinking of this country. He's been professing solutions. You sit here and you say President Mahama lied. How did he lie? How did he lie? Lied to who? About what? You said President Mahama said was a dead goat. Akufo-Addo said you can't kill him as a dog and hang him. Should we say Akufo-Addo is a dog? I mean, what kind of warped analysis and baseless logic is this? Please, let us situate matters in context. When we come on platforms, we discuss issues that inure to the benefit of the people. You are a deputy sanitation minister. You should be telling us how you've been able to keep Accra clean. Go to Kaneshi this morning and see. Go to Choko. Look at how the filth that is consuming us.
Okay.
And you are minister there.
Okay.
Tell us.
I need to
tell us why you've been able to keep it. Water as a sanitation. Then DC added over 40 million gallons of water to just Greater Accra. You remember the desalination plants we built, the rural water communities we built. Tell us if you've given us water. That is what we want to know. You went and cut sword for the Dam and Go water project. And this was saying Baumia lied to us that they were coming to give us Dam and Go water. You are minister there. Tell us if you've been able to give us. That is why you should sit on platform.
All right. Thank you very much.
And not tell us this and that.
Thank you.
Bernard's time.
Yes, it's actually time for... No, Bernard has to speak there. You will respond to all of them.
Yes.
You will respond to all of them. But Bernard, please come in.
So, but the question as to whether the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was selected because of the votes in the Ashanti region cannot be answered in the negative.
Right.
It should be answered in the affirmative. And rightly so, that, like it or not, Matthew Poku Prempeh has been an MP, and he has been consistently had a loyal following of about 40,000 votes.
Right.
So to that extent, even before the campaign starts, before they start to vote, he can say that, look, I will be able to deliver 40,000 votes to the ticket that I am part of. That's a given. That because he has been made running mate, that 40,000 votes will be given, and probably more. There's no also doubt that the Ashanti region is the biggest political constituency in this country. In terms of number of constituencies, you have 47 constituencies. And so it is like the basket of votes that every political party will be looking for. So choosing Matthew Poku Prempeh from that angle means that you want to maximize your vote level in that region. And therefore, if they are able to maximize it, why not? We saw in the year 2008 that whilst we had 10 regions at the time, 8 of the regions had decided completely for the then candidate of the National Democratic Congress, the John Evans Atamils. But 2 regions, and in particular Ashanti region, had to force the elections into a runoff. Right? Because of the way the Ashantis voted and the Eastern region voted, they were going to deliver a president that was not nationally acceptable.
Okay.
And so, if the MPP take that tactic, hey, it is their choice to do. As to whether Napo, by that selection and his pronouncements, as Kojo Yangson will say, whether he is not going to devalue the essence of the votes is another question that they have to be dealing with now. And I'm sure that after the inauguration of Napo, there will be many tongues that will be wanging that, hey, is that what we actually bargained for? We thought that, look, we had a solid personality in him, no doubt. But if these pronouncements will continue, if this level of arrogance and pomposity will continue to be displayed, where you have said something that the Honorable Chini and Co think that, look, you have gone below the belt, this is an overboard. Then you come and say that you mean it and that it is your strong opinion, then you can understand that people also continue to make strong opinions. And therefore, the gains that the MPP expected to have gotten from the Ashanti region, they may not be able to get it. You understand? So I'm not going to run away from the fact that, look, he was selected for a purpose. And I said elsewhere that if I were in their camp, I would let Napo concentrate in his eastern and his Ashanti region and leave the rest of the country for Bawumia. Bawumia can once in a while jump into the Ashanti region to campaign. But with these kind of pronouncements, probably you don't want him to even be closer to the Ashanti region because he may be able to deface the number of votes that you have there. Beyond that, hey, none of us can tell the NPP what should be good for them.
Right.
But I am of the hope.
We
Go to it.
We will. In speaking,
I have to talk about the allegations.
I am of the hope.
Let's move on.
I am of the hope
We can move on.
that the MPP will continue to make such pronouncements. The NDC on this platform and the MPP have shown what Ghana they want to have. A Ghana of blame game. This one comes to blame this one for non-performance. or for thievery or for corruption. And then this one tend to blame the other one on the same thing, and leaving the main issues of how we'll be able to attend to the many challenges that confront the Ghana people. And that is why the two of them, that is why the two of them must be in opposition for the PNC to be in government.
All right. Honorable, yes, we are getting into the new topic, but you can respond to the allegations quickly.
One, he talks about.
I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that.
But as for the allegations, you have to let me respond to them.
I said I'm giving you 3 minutes to do that.
He talks about $43 million that has been supposed to be used for
dredging. Yes.
That is complete lies. This is a donor-funded project, and you have different ministries that are handling different aspects of the project. You have Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. And this is the entire budget component for Ministry of Sanitation and Water. And I can tell you, as we speak, this $43 million that is supposed to be used to implement projects by the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, not half of that money has been utilized as of now. I will get you.
Let me show you parliamentary records.
I'm coming.
You squandered the money.
Oh, what is that?
Malik, please don't interrupt. Yes.
What happened was that when the then minister Cecilia Dapa went for vetting, she was asked a question about the dredging. And you know, it's not everything everybody can easily remember. She responded to a question by saying that that amount was meant for dredging of Odo River, which is not the case. This is a total budget for the ministry for different aspects of the project. I mean, it's an oversight. So that amount, Serwaa, I am challenging this station. I'll get the details and you play it here to let Malik know that what he's saying is not true. So this $43 million, as we speak, part of it is still available to be used for projects. So it is not true that that money is meant for this, the dredging of the Odo Channel. That is not true, and that money has not been utilized as we speak. Not all of it. The second point he makes, which former President Mohammed said during his press conference, that they added 43 million gallons of water to the 40,000.
Yes.
To an MPP has added nothing. That is absolutely false.
Okay.
I will tell you, our water project was completed by President Akufo-Addo, and we added 3.3 million gallons.
We said Accra. You are talking of what?
Oh, I'm coming. Upper East Water Project, we added 4.5 million gallons. Look. Accra, we rehabilitated abandoned treatment plant at Pong that is giving us 6 million gallons per day. Achimoda, we did a water project that is giving us 7.7 million gallons of water per day. And we are doing Sekendita Kradi, 22 million gallons per day. It's almost complete. So it is not true that nothing has been added to the water stock production in Ghana. He also talks about asset declaration. And I'll go to jail. As for that one, time will tell. When we get there, you can summon me. I have my document.
Have you declared it?
Yes.
Video this.
Have you declared your assets?
I have my document.
Have you declared your assets?
If I don't declare, how will I have my document?
So you have declared?
Yes.
All right.
On TV?
Yes.
Please save this video.
So where do you get your information from?
I am telling you on record here. He has not declared. Record my voice.
But he also says
so
that
don't worry.
Honorable Chinia, have you declared your assets?
I have.
When did you declare it?
I have.
When?
I have declared.
When?
I'm telling you.
When?
I have declared, and I have my document.
When?
I said I have declared.
You
that
can't
is the most
when.
important thing.
When?
I have declared.
He has not declared. I'm telling you on record.
Oh.
I'm Malik Basintali, my integrity on the line. He has not declared. When did you declare?
I have declared. I have my document.
So when did you declare?
Tell us.
He said when they get
no,
power.
But when did you
when?
declare?
I have declared.
He can't answer.
When did you
I said I have
because
declared.
you indict himself if he answers.
When
I have
you
the document.
When?
I have my asset declaration.
So when did you do it?
Yes. Tell us. When?
I'm going to laugh. I said I have declared my asset.
When?
Oh, how?
Ask him.
For me, it's not relevant. I have declared my asset.
You see?
I have declared my asset. I have my documentation. It is there.
Okay.
When you get there, call me. I'll come.
January 2025.
You are not coming to power anyway.
I don't
now he talks about
you see why
the last
one.
one.
You see why
Let's move on.
No, I am not.
You see why they are afraid that we are
I'm going to my last point.
My last
point. He hasn't declared.
My last point. He talks about lies. Serwaa, I am telling you.
Issue we have gone. Let's
no. He made references.
Please mute their microphones.
Oh, Serwaa, you are not being fair to me.
You have
he made references. I want to make reference to what is it? The promises he made that he
so we are moving on. If you don't
Serwaa, you are not fair to
speak,
me.
I will start from
You can go ahead.
Bernard.
You can go ahead.
So the next topic, which we have to definitely
when I get there, I'll still talk about what I want to talk about.
Dr. Amihere says that going into the 2024 elections, and by the way, it's 149 days more to the 2024 elections. He says that we should compare the records of the two political parties. The main contenders, obviously, which is that of the NDC and the NPP. And you have said, Honorable Chinia, that the two main contenders have both been vice presidents before. They have been in the position before. So going into the elections, that is what we should be comparing, their records, what each party has done for the country. Mr. Chinia, with what you believe that you have done as a party, would you say that it's enough? Arguing solely or making your point solely based on records is enough for you to break the 8?
Once you give me my time, I will speak. I will speak on what I want to speak. Mohammed is a liar.
Look at that.
Mohammed said he was going to establish MP's Constituency Development Fund. He didn't do it. Mohammed said he was going to get MMDC directly elected. It was a promise he made. He didn't do it.
They don't have a record. That's why
Mohammed said
Mali,
he was going to make the central. He was going to make
don't worry.
promises that he made. Mohammed said he was going to make the central government assume responsibility for the payment of remuneration of assembly members. He didn't do it.
Very cold one.
Former President Mohammed said he was going to encourage MMDCs to use their common fund to embark on rental housing. He failed. He told us that he was going to establish a national sanitation fund. He didn't do it. He said he was going to allocate 50 million Ghana cedis for the construction of constituency duty offices for MPs. He didn't. All these were promises that he made in 2012, became president for 4 years. He did, and there are numerous of them.
Have you fulfilled all the promises that you made to the people of
But
Ghana?
that is why he's saying that.
I'm asking you.
No, we have not. So does that make you a liar? But that is the point he's making. He said that Amihere has said this, he has said that we didn't do it. So if you make a promise and you don't fulfill it, does it make you a liar? If that is the basis of being a liar, then John Mohammed is a liar. Because you are saying that Amihere went here and promised this, he promised that, he didn't do them. And that makes him a liar. So I'm telling you that if that is the basis for somebody to become a liar, Mohammed is a big liar because he made several promises that he didn't fulfill.
That's his time.
Okay.
Now,
So what, that's his time.
Don't let him speak on the
Are you the moderator?
I'm giving you 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds. Thank you.
Now, to matters of MPP's record, Serwaa, I mean, we have outperformed these people, NDC. Mohammed supervised Dumso for 4 years. 4 solid years. Businesses collapsed. When GHOne was leaving government in 7 January 2009, Ghana's economy was growing at 8%. Mills became president, Mohammed was vice president. By the time Mills died, our economy was growing at about 14%. Mohammed took over, completed the tenure, and was re-elected. And for 4 years, by the time he was leaving office in 2017, 7 January, our economy was growing at 3.2%. Can you imagine that? From 8% Kufuor left, it was growing at 14% by Mills, and then Mohammed took it down to 3.2%. He cancelled teacher training college allowances. He cancelled nurse training college allowances that President Akufo-Addo has restored. Teachers were being paid 3 months. You work for 1 year, and then you are paid 3 months' salary. And getting the rest of the months that you have worked was a problem. That was Mohammed's record. When Mohammed went to IMF, they froze employment completely. Today, President Akufo-Addo is at the IMF, but we are recruiting. That is the difference. President Akufo-Addo introduced free senior high school across the country. And intake has increased from about 800,000 to about 1.4 million people. So we have almost doubled the number, giving opportunity to young Ghanaians, and education is the key to our development. If you want to enumerate the challenges of underpinning our underdevelopment, high illiteracy rate is number one. And Akufo-Addo, through Free Senior High School, is giving opportunity to all young Ghanaians to have access to education. And the enrollment has increased massive.
Thank you.
There is no development that can be more than that.
Thank you. Yes,
so first of all, for the first time in the history of this country, that growth rate grew at negative was under Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, 2022. Manufacturing sector grew negative 1.1. Industry grew negative 2.2. Education grew negative 4.7. Grand total was negative 1.5. You said we left the growth rate at 3.2. 2023, you grew at 1.5. 2024, expectant growth is 1.5. And you have the effrontery to sit on TV and say you did better than us. When President Mohammed was leaving office, we gave you the dollar at 4 cedi 20 pesos. Today, if you want a dollar, you must have 16 cedi in your pockets before you can get a dollar. And you have the effrontery to say you are better than President Mohammed. When President Mohammed was leaving office, we gave you a gallon of petrol at 13 Ghana cedis. 13 cedis. Today, a liter of petrol is 14.7 cedis. A gallon under GM, okay, is better than a liter under you. Today, a gallon of petrol goes for 100 Ghana cedis. And you have the effrontery to say you did better than President Mohammed. No, when we were leaving office, interest rates were less than 25%. As we speak today, interest rates have risen from 30 to 40% under your administration. Unemployment under President Mohammed was 7.5%. Today, unemployment is 14.7%. Ghana Statistical Service, the latest poll showed that more than 500,000 people have been moved into the unemployment ratio. 1.8 million Ghanaian youth are unemployed in this country. Because you are a minister, you get free coupon. They pay your DSTV. You get salary. You are so comfortable to the extent that
nobody pay my DSTV.
You don't feel the pain of the Ghanaian people.
Don't throw lies
when President
at me.
Mohammed was leaving office, he had borrowed 120 billion. He added only 44 billion
at
to our debt rate. Today, you have borrowed 680 billion. You've added over 500 billion to our debt. You said we went to IMF. Yes. Did we ever stop paying a pensioner in this country? Look, I cry sometimes for responsible pensioners. These people who die every day today, they didn't live irresponsible lives. So they lived good lives, saved at a bank, bought government bonds, and they were being paid until Bawumia deceived us and deceived Akufo-Addo. And I have continuously said, if there's anybody who should be disappointed in Bawumia, it should have been Akufo-Addo. Because the man got the old man to sit down, took chalk on a blackboard, and was doing fake analysis, warped logic, deceiving, mentioning this, would jump from here to here, the dollar will fall, I will fall, they would. And Nana-Addo believed him and said, go and do justice. Today, Nana-Addo has seen his smoothness level. Pensioners cannot be paid their bonds. And you sit on live TV and you say you've done better. Contractors. For 6 years, I know a contractor who was not paid from 2017. He finished his contract till date. They've refused. School feeding caterers. They picket every day on the streets. As we speak today, are you aware that training college teachers are on strike? Sit up. They are on strike. Training colleges are not in school. As we speak, just this morning, ask me, Malik Basintali, I'm on GHOne. The teachers are sitting home. Your government has refused to pay them. Teacher trainees have not been paid for 6 years. The young nurse in Techiman looked at Bawumia's face and said, you are a liar, sir. You said you've paid us. I have never received alawa. I'm in level 300. I'm left my last semester to leave school. And you sit here. We should be weeping. Sometimes I look at young Ghanaians. And I wonder how they feed 3 times a day. Look, if you work in this country and you take 1,400 cedis, by the middle month, all the money would have gone into transport. Those days when you take dropping, you pay 15 cedi. Today, when you take car from Medina to Accra, the amount is more than 15 cedi. So dropping first under President Mahama, and now throw first under Nanado Baobia. And you have the effrontery to say you've done better. Look, this is not time for here shouting, talking this way. At least you should know better. You are a minister. You should be sympathizing with Ghanaians. When you get an opportunity, apologize to us. At least on 7 December, before we vote your incompetent, clueless, and reckless government out of power, you people need to award us certificates of survival. How we survived in 8 years is a miracle. And we have to sing hallelujah to God for taking us through Nanado and Baumier's administration. Look, I am counting this. And the day would knife when we vote them out. I will say Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah 3 times.
All right.
Because God has seen us through. God has watched us walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Yet we have gone through it successfully. So, Minister, please.
Thank you.
I'll land on this.
Thank
so
you
just
very
1
much.
minute. Minister, please. Let us profess solution. Apologize. Let us feel compassionate with the Ghanaian people. You are a minister. You are being paid. You are living good. But please, Ghanaian youth
Are you not
suffering.
living good?
Thank you. Let's go.
I saw your car that you brought. I mean,
Let's
come
go
and sit here and
Let's go
pretend as if things are
Bernard, I'll
difficult
give
for
you the final word on this, then we
Bernard,
can
go
wrap up, please.
It's amazing that it has to do with records. And the end.
And he's making negative comparison. Why did you take those things from there?
Can we go on?
talking
No
about?
time more.
And
Because you should tell us where you took
Mr.
it from.
Chinia, thank you.
But
And
sir,
then
that is
the-
why you should have asked him. You should tell us where they took it from, where they
He
landed.
came to waste our time here.
Then it's about records. The NDC says that they want records compared. The NPP say they want records compared. Now, when you compare the records, over the years, unemployment levels have increased. Under both regimes, you see that many young people that are trained, they acquire skills from various levels of institutions, are not able to get jobs. And so I am very much aware about the number of young girls that come to you hoping that you'll be able to get them some job of some sort. That should tell you that there is no record to be compared. I am aware, as they have just advertised, that they want about 11,000 people into the security services before elections. You will see that we will have more than 200,000 people that will make applications, and therefore the receiving institution even they begin to suffer the consequences as to how they are going to go about it. Those were the days where teachers, when they finished their education, they were assured that they were going to be posted. In fact, once you finish your school, you were posted directly into a school. Today, many teachers finish school. They are told to go and do national service. After they are done their national service, they are asked to do some other programs. And then before you realize, they say, go and sit down and write a licensure exam. That is all part of delaying and giving you age, such that by age 45, Senate will tell you that they are not able to employ you, or when you get employment, Senate will not be able. How many young people have not finished their education and they are getting closer to 45, meaning that when they get a job eventually, they cannot. This is the record of the two political parties. Why are we sitting here pretending? We sit in this nation, then we claim that the economy is growing. Serwaa, do you know what it means to say your business is growing? It means that your business is doing well, is booming. It means that you are increasing in wealth. So anytime we come and sit here and we are talking about GDP has grown to this extent, what it means is that the wealth of Ghana has grown. How come that we continue to grow in wealth and every day we are out there borrowing? Every day that we keep shouting that we are growing, we are increasing our wealth stock. It is within the same period that we are borrowing. What are we borrowing to do? If you are getting wealth, if your economy is doing well, you should not be borrowing. But you keep borrowing. There is no development that takes place that you don't borrow. You have overborrowed that now you have to go and beg for debt forgiveness and debt deferment. And you still come and tell us that we are growing. How are we growing? Something is not right. Let nobody come and give us textbooks economics any longer. Your economy is not growing because you own nothing in this economy. Nothing. Everything that you do, some people own it. So you calculate the gross domestic product, the people get up and take their money away. Then it means that there is no development correlating the growth that we are talking about. Can't we sit and pause and say that we have failed our people?
Thank you very much for coming on the show, all of you. Malik Basintale is Deputy National Communications Officer of the NDC. Alhaji Amidu Chinia is Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources and also Member of Parliament for the Sisala East constituency, and Bernard Mono.
Member of Parliament.
I will take the seat from you.
NPP.
I will take the seat from you.
But I said Deputy Minister, so I mean, if you're a Deputy Minister now. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is GHToday. I am Serwaa Amihere. The Young Professionals Business Network is holding its next meeting, which is a mentoring session, but it's a political mentoring session. And I'm joined in the studio by two of the executives to give us more insights, because it's something that you'd definitely be interested in attending. Daniel Nuku Kove is former parliamentary aspirant for the Central Tongue constituency, and he's also the head of political and governance faculty of the Young Professional Business Network and an election consultant. Daniel, good morning. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Waina Atipo is head of social media and content for the Young Professional Business Network. Waina, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. So Young Professional Business Network, we started from here, sort of, in terms of talking about it in the media, of which I am a part of, by the way. How has it been so far? It was launched last year. How has it been so far, Daniel?
So good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers. I want to say good morning to all the young professionals part of this network, and most importantly, our founder, Daniel Amwaten.
Okay.
The journey so far has been exciting. We started with the launch. We had our first general meeting with Philip Gami. We had a business idea pitching, where we identified some young people with very amazing ideas. On the 13th, most of them are going to have their startups to be able to push their businesses and start. And we also had a webinar that gives you an avenue for multiple incomes in hard times. The upcoming event we have on the 13th, that is the political mentorship, is the reason why we are here today. So that's the journey. But just before I stop, I want to say that currently the Young Professionals Business Network have over 1,000 membership, where we started with about 200. Currently, we have over 1,000 membership.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So what informed the decision to choose this particular theme? And I want to start with you on that also, because you are the head of political for the Young Professional Business Network.
So the decision is to change the misconception around politics amongst young people, to assimilate the political interest in amongst young people. Too many myths around politics, an avenue for money making. Politicians are always stealing, and young people don't get interest in politics anymore. There's a survey that shows that a lot of young people have lost interest in our Ghanaian body politics, and it is important that we begin to draw young people and erode the myth and misconception around politics. That is the reason why we chose the topic, changing or shifting the political paradigm in New Dawn.
Waina, anything you'd like to add?
No, I think
on that?
I think he has said it all.
He said it all. When is it happening?
It's happening on the 13th of this Saturday, the 13th, at the Wesley Towers, just behind the British Council and the UBA enclave. Yes.
Is there anything you could put on Google Maps to take you there?
Yeah, so we have a link. We have a link tree that includes all the directives.
Okay.
So when you sign up or you click on the link, you'll be directed as to where to
But
go.
it's happening at the Wesley Towers,
Yes.
right? So if you're lost, you can just put Wesley Towers in Google Maps and it will bring you straight there. I have seen the artwork for the events, and it appears that the speakers are mostly from the two main political parties.
Yes.
Any reason why?
I think
Daniel?
Daniel should take that.
So, yeah, a lot of people keep asking, but we know currently we have other political movements that are also doing well in the political. So this is the first of the political mentorship we are having. However, we have extended invitation to other political parties.
Okay.
If they come, they have the opportunity to share experiences with young people. But we are just starting with the two major political parties for now. And we're going to have series of events that will include other political parties having speakers on board.
Right. So, wait now, who can attend?
Everybody can attend. We believe that the future belongs to the youth, and the youth must be involved in policy, national policy development, you know. So this is just an opportunity for everybody. If you're aspiring to be a politician, if you're curious to know what it takes to get into the political space, like my colleague said, there's a lot of low interest among the youth to get into the political space. So this will create an atmosphere where they would have the opportunity to interact with those who are already walking the path of politics. So for who should attend, everybody with their interest in the field should attend. You know, there are no libraries, there are no resources available where we can find practical experience or practical knowledge on how to, the roadmap, you know, the to-dos, the intricacies of what it really takes to become a politician. So coming to this event will give them that atmosphere, the opportunity to hear the people speak, the experiences. This knowledge is deeply buried in their experiences, and the only way they can have like that shared knowledge or transferred knowledge is to be in a space with them. And this hasn't happened before. It does not happen before. So they should come. Everybody should come. Whether you are interested, you are curious, just come to know. If the youth doesn't take the seat, or the youth does not prepare to take the seat or to be at the table in the future, who is going to do it? When are we going to do it?
Right.
So.
Okay, so it's happening this Saturday. What time?
It's at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. sharp. And we're going to be very on time, so no Ghana man time.
Okay, it's happening at 10 a.m. Starting from 10 a.m. till what time?
Till 1 p.m.
Till 1 p.m. Okay, and you're all invited. Does it come at a cost? Are you selling tickets?
No, it's absolutely free.
It's absolutely free.
Absolutely free. Just be on time, because we have to be respectful of each other's time. So be there on time.
Of course. Who are some of the speakers for the events this Saturday?
So we have Madam Faustina Nelson, who is a leading member of the NDC. We have Mr. Intim.
Stephen
Intim, the national chairman of the NPP. We have Honorable Alexander Apenyomakin, majority leader. We have Honorable Samuel Ablakwa, Okujeto Ablakwa, member of parliament for North. We have the Honorable Francis Xavier Susu. We also have the Minister for Information, Fatima Abubakar. And we also have Mr. Benjamin Kwashe as part of and the host himself, Daniel Amwaten.
Right. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for coming, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday, and I'm going to be the host, so you don't want to miss it. I want us to take a quick look at this video.
The journey to political success requires careful guidance. However, many young politicians face uncoordinated paths with no clear direction. The only blueprint and resources available to the youth lies in the experiences of seasoned politicians. The time has come to change the political paradigm and invest into political mentorship. The Young Professional Business Network is set to make that a reality.
We invite all young aspiring politicians and professionals to our political mentorship event. Meet our speakers, Madam Faustina Nelson, Mr. Stephen Ayensu Intim, Honorable Athenio Makin, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, Honorable Fatima Abubakar, Honorable Francis Javier Sosu, Mr. Benjamin Kwashi, and our founder Daniela Martin, who are all poised to share with us their plans, tactics, and decisions that shaped their political journeys.
You have heard it all. Join us at the Wesley Towers, Accra on Saturday the 13th of July at exactly 10 a.m. to kickstart your political journey. Connect with us at Young Professionals BN across all social media handles or contact us with the details below. We look forward to seeing you there.
Right, so this Saturday, let's all meet at the Wesley Towers and have a nice conversation and a mentorship session. Thank you so much for coming. Wayne Atipo is head of social media and content for the Young Professional Business Network. And Daniel Nuku-Kove is former parliamentary aspirant for the Central Tone District constituency, I beg your pardon, and also the head of political and governance faculty of the Young Professional Business Network, and also an election consultant. See you all on Saturday, and stay with me. After the break, there's more. Welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. The Global Citizen Festival is coming back, and we have some interesting news for you. I'm joined in the studio by Caroline Robinson. She's the Chief Growth Officer for the Global Citizens Festival. Caroline, good morning. Looking very bright.
Oh,
good to
morning.
see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Why are you back in Ghana, though?
We are excited to be back in Ghana for our next show. I've been here meeting with nonprofits. I've been meeting with the UN. We've been visiting around, getting ready for our next show. So we're excited to be here. I love it here.
When is your next show, and what is it about?
It will be later this year. It is Move Africa is the next event from Global Citizen. And Move Africa is about economic development and job creation. We want to invest in the touring infrastructure in order to be able to create jobs. And then we want to invest in the creative communities like food, fashion, music, art, and give people equipment and tools to tell their stories and amplify their voices.
Right, and so the focus is going to be on Africa. Why do you keep coming back to Ghana? What is it about Ghana?
So personally, I've been coming to Ghana since 1995. Since I was a kid.
Okay.
And the first time I stepped off the plane, I was home, right? So this is very personal.
Do you have
for
any
me.
Ghanaian blood?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do actually.
You
yes,
do?
I do. Yes.
Which, from where? Who?
I'm not sure. Okay, now you're putting me on the spot.
You're not sure.
But you know, for Global Citizen, Ghana is an amazing place, and we are committed to Africa, and we are committed to the country of Ghana and the people here, and we want to help drive impact and drive change, and we want to help create jobs. We want to help drive economic development.
Right. So it's happening later this year.
It's happening later this year.
What is it going to be like? I know that you've talked about food exhibition and all that, but what should the attendees expect?
So Global Citizen, it's not just an event, it's a campaign, right?
Okay.
So we launch campaigns. You can sign up, you can download the app, or in WhatsApp, take action. And your action allows you to earn free tickets to go to one of our events. And this is all about using voices, right, to get the private sector, governments, to make commitments on stage to help drive change. So you can expect another amazing show. If you were here in 2022 in Black Star Square, Usher, SZA, Sarkodie, Thames, Stonebwoy. It was an amazing experience. I hope it was amazing.
It was.
Experience.
It was talked about for months, actually.
Yeah, amazing. And I promise you it will be another amazing experience, all with a purpose. This is not just an event. This is not just a party. This is about driving impact and supporting the country of Ghana.
Okay. Any final words before I let you go?
Can't wait to see you all back in later this year. Please, again, download the app, start taking action, or in WhatsApp, and get ready. It's going to be another amazing show.
You know, Caroline, for those, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about Global Citizen Festival, but they don't really know what it's about.
Yes.
So in a very short statement. Can you tell us what Global Citizen Festival is about?
So Global Citizen is an advocacy
Okay.
organization. We're committed to the eradication of poverty around the world. Our audiences take action and use their voices to drive commitments. Over 12 years, audiences have taken 33 million actions, resulting in commitments of $43 billion around the globe.
Oh, wow. Oh, I see. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we can't wait for the show. When exactly is it happening? You're not sure?
Coming soon. It's coming soon.
It's coming
More
soon.
to come soon.
And what's the name of the app again that you asked us to download?
Global Citizen.
Global Citizen. Okay. It's available on the App Store?
It's available on the App Store, or you can use WhatsApp.
Or you can use WhatsApp.
Or go to globalcitizen.org.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Carolyn Robinson. She's a Chief Growth Officer for the Global Citizens. Thanks so much for coming. Stay with us. After the break, we have more. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. And you know, because I went to Yasantua Girls, anytime I have to interview a group of people from a different school, I am not happy about it because Yasantua Girls is the best girls' school in this country. But it's okay. I can share. I can let other people, other girls' school enjoy the time small. And today we have Accra Girls O students here with me in the studio. Okay, look at their school entrance. It's not be as nice as the Yasantua Girls School entrance, but it's nice, Amu.
It's very nice. It's beautiful.
It's actually beautiful. You're welcome. I have Mrs. Portia Nkrumah Gatsibura. I hope I got that right. She's planning committee member and also a treasurer. Mrs. Lois Finn Ellis, also a planning committee member and with the events and grooming. And then there's Jane, who is hiding in the studio somewhere, who doesn't want to be on TV because she's been directing us for years. You're welcome.
Thank you
Accra
very
Girls,
much.
what are you doing? You know, when I finished with JHS, I came for some private classes here at Accra Girls. I'm sorry, I know the school a bit. And I actually wanted to go to Accra Girls.
Why didn't you?
I got a better school.
Oh, no! That's not true.
That's just right away. Please, why are you in my studio today? Talk to me.
Yes, we are here this morning to tell you about our legacy project.
Okay.
Yes, we, the ladies of the 99-year group, have come together.
I was 9 years.
Oh. We have come together as a group to give back to our alma mater. We've decided to renovate the whole kitchen in the matron's office.
Oh,
yep.
Nice. Why you like food a lot, eh?
Well, boarding house, healthy food is the thing that will keep you in a boarding house.
True.
So we picking the kitchen. It's one of the good things to be done.
Right. How will it be like when you say renovation? What exactly does it entail?
The space is in a deplorable state. I mean, obviously, we used to feed very little number of pupils, but now the numbers have increased to about 3,000, and
So we are seeing the current state of the kitchen on our screens now. Okay.
We decided that, I mean, food is the best part of the whole deal in the human body, and so renovating the kitchen will do a great deal, and I mean, basically why we chose the kitchen.
Okay, I see. But have you started, or you're yet to start?
So thankfully, we have done the planning. We have taken all necessary permissions to begin the project. And thankfully, last week, the 5th of July, we had a kickoff, and we have signed the contract, and work has begun.
When are you hoping to complete it?
By mid-October, hopefully. We hand it over proud to the 64th speech and prize giving day, which is also October 26th, which is also our 25th anniversary. So we'll hand it over. It will be inspected, then we hand it over proud to the anniversary.
So you're hoping to finish by the mid of October?
Yes.
Oh, I see. That's some pretty tight timelines.
Yes.
If there are people who want to support, how do they get in touch with you to support you?
Well, we have created a GoFundMe account.
Okay.
We have a bank account. We have a Momo line. And we also have these booklets, like coupons going out. We are on the streets, in the churches. We are going out soliciting for funds everywhere and anywhere.
So what event is this?
This is the kickoff program we had last week.
To unveil
Yes, the project.
The project.
Yes,
okay.
This is last week. We had it in the school premises, and it was nice. It brought together lots of people we haven't seen over the years. 25 years is a long time, and it was an exciting experience.
Wow. You're in secondary school in 1999.
We completed in 1999. Yes, 1999.
Wow.
Yes, we got in 97.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are looking at going out to solicit for funds. I mean, we have achieved, the target is to raise a minimum of 500,000 Ghana cedis. And so far we have done about 60%. That's about 300,000. And we're looking to complete that. So we'll be coming to people. We are doing sponsorships. We are calling on individuals. We are trying to do individual visiting, soliciting for funds. I mean, it's all about...
How much are you hoping to raise?
A minimum of 500,000 Ghana cedis.
500,000 Ghana cedis. That's how much you need to complete the kitchen, right? Okay. How much do you have now?
300,000
Hey!
Ghana cedis, yes.
Already?
Yeah.
From last week?
Ongoing. No,
we started...
We launched in March.
And you already have 300,000?
Yes.
Hey!
Yes.
You have money.
We are trying. With the help of
this is what you want to make it look like?
Yes, this is the makeover.
99 legacy projects. Yeah. Beautiful. Well done. I know that you chose dining hall kitchen because you like food. Jane likes food a lot. So it makes, but this is really nice. Well done. Well done. Well done. So, how do people call you? Yeah, you say you've launched a GoFundMe account, but you have numbers that they can call if they want to contribute?
Screen. We have the bank account.
Yes.
We have the Momo line. And we have the GoFundMe.
Don't worry, to be displayed. Jane is there.
Yes, so that is it.
Okay, so you can call...
the name is Agosa99.
Agosa99. So there's a CalBank account. Yeah. There's a mobile money, MTN mobile money account as well, if you'd like to donate. And there's a GoFundMe account also that you can donate to. They're also on social media, right? Yes. I see Facebook, Instagram and...
that's it.
Facebook and Instagram at Agosa99. Okay. But what about phone call? Does the number go through as a phone call if anyone wants to? Okay. So corporate institutions can call and donate. But it doesn't only have to be Accra Girls O students, right?
No. Everybody, but it's for the 99-year group. So even all the Agosans, you can chip in. It's a matter. We are giving it back.
Of course.
Yes. And giving is a beautiful concept.
Of course. Yep. Is there going to be a party?
Yes, item 13 has to follow after everything.
But will there be like a proper party after your 25th
Yes, we are planning
anniversary?
on that, but the focus is on the project now.
Okay. Yeah. Will you invite me?
Why not?
And you're available, why not?
Thank you so much. Before you go, is there any final words for your 99-year group?
Yes,
or
so
your
99-year group, wherever you find yourself.
Yes.
99-year group, wherever you find yourself, associate with us, call the number, get to support. It's a real opportunity for us to give back to Accra Girls Secondary School. That's what has brought us to this level that we are, and hopefully we're going to do more and better things for the school, whether you like it or not. So come to us and let's move. Thank you.
How about you?
Yes, Agosa. Progress.
Progress.
Wait. Speaking of it, can you sing your school anthem?
Why not?
Let's go. Yeah,
Accra Girls Secondary School. Thou I pride, my greatest pride. That will thou expect of me. I'll do it with my might. In all aspects of school life, I shall try to do my best. The shiny example I must be to my friends.
Oh, you didn't sing.
Oh, I sang.
She was backing.
I'm a backing vocal.
Okay, your final words before we go.
Yes, we're calling all Agosans, especially the 99-year group. Those outside, those inland, get in touch with any of the committee members. It's exciting to give back to Accra Girls Secondary School. It helped shape us. Please come on board. Let's do this for the school.
Who are the other members of the planning committee or the executives that you may want to give shout-outs to?
Okay, we came with one. I think she's out there now. Ayile Ayi.
Okay.
We have Lauren Kwanzaa, Yvette Brown, Janet Okine, Eugenia Mills,
Edem
Nyamadi, and who have I left?
What's Jane's position?
James.
What's Jane's position? There,
she is
in charge of the food
media. No.
Oh, okay.
Media. So have I mentioned everybody?
I think so. Yes.
If we haven't mentioned your name, it's okay. You are part.
You are
Yes.
part of us. Yes.
They're officially recognizing you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
ladies. 99-year group. Wow. And you look really beautiful. You don't look like you completed school some 25 years ago. Wow. Congratulations, by the way. Mrs. Portia in... Who is Mrs. Portia? Mrs. Portia, okay. Mrs. Portia Nkrumah Gatsi Bura. Gachi. Yep. It's Gachi Bura, forgive me. She's a planning committee member and also a treasurer. And Mrs. Lois Finn Ellis is also a planning committee member and with the events and grooming. So we'll see you in October when you complete your project.
Had I known Agosan, you can come.
Yes, you have to.
I'm not saying had I known that.
Yes, you have to bring in your funds. Yes, you have to bring in something to help Jane.
Oh, as for Jane, we don't have a choice, so we will definitely contribute.
So for Jane, yes, thank you.
Oh, apparently, my boss's wife is a 99-year group as well.
Yeah, she's our mate.
Ah,
she's our mate.
Accra Academy, their girls are Accra girls.
Nope.
So how did that happen? Who are your boys?
Aquinas.
Thomas Aquinas.
So you are their side chicks?
No, we are the main chicks.
You are the main chicks?
Yep.
Jane said you are the side chicks.
No. Yeah,
that's just by the way. Okay, then
Thomas
this is family.
Aquinas, so it's stagger.
Oh, right. Okay. Congratulations and
Thank
all
you
the
so
best.
much.
I'm sure that Jane will bring you back when the project is completed,
Yes,
so
we
we
need
have
to
a
see what we
conversation
want to do. Yes,
about
we'll
it.
bring
But well done.
Thank
well
you so
done.
much. Thank you.
Okay, stay with us. We'll be back with more after this. And that's it for the show. Thank you so much. On behalf of the entire team, we are grateful that you spent your time with us.